No saving throw for energy drain from a Wight. Let me read that again. No saving throw. Tankar just did a video the other day about the BX side of a Wight and energy drain and the fact that there's no saving throw and how deadly it is, right? I'm going to do it on the AD&D side. Same monster, same drain. Same thing we tell our players. Sorry, guys, you lost a level, right? Devastating. Worst thing that a player can experience, right? So here's the question that I want to answer today. Does first edition let you off any easier? Is the Wight in first edition tougher? And we all know that there's no save, right? So first edition didn't change that at all, right? So no, I think it's worse. I think that the AD&D Wight is an even tougher monster. So we're going to talk about that today. So I want you guys to open up your monster manual at page 100, right? And under the Wight, special attacks, energy drain, right? That's it. No save for half, no save negates. The entry doesn't even route you to a saving throw matrix, right? We know this. It's a hit and you lose a level. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? So, you can go to page 79 of the Dungeon Master Guide and see the saving throw metrics, right? Paralyzation, poison, petrification, wand staff rods, breath weapons, spells, right? 5 categories of mercy, right? And the game, hands those out constantly, right? You have a chance to negate or save for half or whatever it is, right? Well, drain is not on there. It isn't a combat roll that you can lose, right? Or a saving throw of anything, right? It's a touch that you're supposed to just take. You just take it like a player character, right? And here's the exact thing from AD&D, right? So AD&D, this is a difference, right? So a player's going to take 1 to 4 points hit points of damage of the attack, plus 1 full level of experience, plus everything that level bought, right? Your hit die, your class bonuses, thieves percentages, right? Spell slots, whatever. A 9th level magic user. It says it specifically in here on page 100 that one is now an 8th level magic user. Full stop. No die roll from that touch attack, right? So here's where the first edition, couple comparisons here, right? So BX, they are a 3 hit die creature. AD&D, they are 4+3. Attack is energy drain versus 1 to 4 points of damage and energy drain. The other thing is if you look at the BX side, I'm gonna turn to it because I want to read this. The number of appearing is 1 to 6 for BX. That is 2 to 16 on AD&D, right? The other big differences that I see is, and I'll just get right into it. Gary put the spawn effects that changed, changes a little bit. In the basic version, a drain victim comes back as a full Wight 1 to 4 days later, right, under the Slayer's control, right? That's the line that everybody remembers, right? And it's clean, it's scary, and it's one that gets quoted, right? Well, the Monster Manual, page 100. Says, something a little bit different. Okay, a human totally drained of life energy by a Wight becomes a half-strength Wight, right? Under the control of the Slayer, right? So half strength, not the fresh 4+3 hit die monster. It's a diminished one. It's a follower, if you want to just call it that, right? Gary didn't copy the basic set of rules forward. He downgraded it a little bit. And that's why I think they changed the number of appearing from there's a minimum of 2 to 16 when you on any encounter. Why would that be? You would have the Slayer and then you would have a subordinate. and that subordinate would be a 2 hit die, plus, maybe 2 plus 1, or however you want to do it as a DM. 2 plus 2 is how I would play it. Hit die Wight. So, and that's devastating for a low level party. A 4 plus 3 hit die. Think about how many hits you have to do to kill that Wight, right? That's tough. And BX, they're 3 hit die. Still tough. 100% tough. But, and think of like zombie, like undead is tough, period. Zombies are 2 hit die. Ghouls are 2 hit die. You don't just get a one and done hit and they're done and they're killed, right? Undead suck, right? For players, right? And this whole thing about the spawn thing is Gary did it for a reason. What it is, I don't know, but it makes a lot of sense that they would be weaker, just kind of like how a vampire would too, right? And it also for AD&D, you have more bodies to fight and more chances of being hit, but energy drain. And so in that sense, I think that's more devastating. Doesn't mean that there can't be more than one in BX, but it's just the minimum of 2, right? So you would have you would have a Slayer and several of his underlings, right? And that makes a lot of sense too. Okay, so in page 100, I'm going to keep going on page 100, right? And this is where AD&D edition, first edition gets meaner in the other direction, right? Wights are not affected by sleep, charm, hold, and cold-based spells. And then Gary also adds poison and paralyzation don't harm them at all. Well, this is not stated at all in the BX side, but if you look under a skeleton, it says since they are undead, they're turned by a cleric and are not affected by sleep and charm spells. So I think in BX that any undead are not affected by sleep and charm, but AD&D adds the hold and cold spells too, and that's crazy. So now they have more immunities, right? And read this list against your typical low-level party, right? They're going to rely on things like sleep. They're going to rely on things like hold, maybe charm, not paralysis as much, but, that's crazy. Both versions of them also are only affected by silver and magic, right? I mean, we know that. Holy water, and I believe for BX it's the same thing. Holy water will do 2 to 8 points of damage for a full vial of holy water. They're pretty similar in that aspect, but adding that those other immunities are pretty good. It's a pretty beefed up version for AD&D, right? So the Dungeon Master guy kind of frames it really broad, frames it pretty well, right? Gary, this was a no mercy tactic that was put into the game, right? There's no character skill or luck or divine favor that can save you against this. The expectation is if you get hit by a Wight or other things that drain level, you're it. That's done, right? And the Wight is one of the places where Gary chose not to hand out any kind of mercy. You pull the save and the fight stops, right? Being decided by the dice, right? It decides before, this whole mechanic decides before you even go into combat, right? You think it's a Wight, if you're low level and you don't have anything to fight it, you better run, right? And running is always an option, right? So, same logic, Tenkar walked through this for the basic set, same conclusion, different math underneath it, because Gary's numbers were not mole-based numbers, right? that's the Monster Manual version. This guy right here, the Monster Manual version of the comparison with the BX version, the Mulvey version that Tankar was just showed you. Same missing save, right? Same loss of level. A meaner list of immunities over here, right? And the spawn rules are different, which gives it a number of appearing, alters that. I think that's why they did that. I would love to really pick the brain of whoever created that on the AD&D side. I imagine it was Gary, with other people probably, and that could play out differently over time, right? So if you want the basic breakdown of this, go over to Tankar's side. If you haven't seen it already, I'm sure you have. Hopefully you have. But if you haven't, go check out his channel on the Wight and do the two comparisons. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. Undead are tough. Undead are tough, and energy drain is a vital part of our game. I know that's one of the things that players fear the most, and I've had recent games where, many of my players lost levels, and man, it's devastating. They picked themselves back up and kept moving forward. But anyways, you guys take care. I am DM Angelo. This is the DM and Friends, and I love AD&D. I love old school, and love you guys. You guys all take care. Stay away from the undead. No energy drain. Bye.